Inverse quadratic. So yeah, so it's inverse quadratic. So must plot alone. Ne, so sketcher f of x equals to x squared. So masim sketch obvious uzoba into ekanje. Abo x y axis. No? So this is the sketch. Sibona kanjani ukuthi we know ukuthi mase sketch sithola ama coordinates. Mase u 0, so thola 0. Mase u -1, so thola 2. So -1 uhamba no 2, -2 uhamba no 4, -3 uhamba no 9, u1 uhamba no 1 uhamba no 1, ehena u2 uhamba no 4, kanjalo. So this is f. If si-sketcher, let's say manje sesifuna i-inverse ka-f. We know masifuna i-inverse yenza njani? We make ubani u-x uba y, u-y uba u-x, right? So lana ke we know sizothi x is equals to y squared, and then we have to solve for y, make y subjects of the formula. So last so family roots, then we have y equals to plus or minus root x. So this is f inverse. So manje, this is f inverse, then this is f. Masisketcha ke le. Nakhona no masisketcha safaka u0, 0 will be 0. Square root of 0 is 0. So sichaza ukuthi khona lapha. Masifaka u1 esikhundleni sa x, should soba no root 1 which is 1. Since we have plus or minus, chaza ukuthi kuzoba khona lapha phezulu kube khona phansi. So inverse ima into ema kanje. This is the inverse. So this is the inverse of f, and then sibe in the original that f. Okay. So asicheckeni lana. Sinama graph awuthula. Graph of f and graph of f inverse. So sifuna ukwazi ukuthi ke manje ukuthi is u-f a function. A function is a graph, ne? A passer a vertical line test. If you draw a vertical line, kumele i-graph ithinte kayi-1. Yabo uma draw a vertical line, ithinta kayi-1, a vertical line ithinta kayi-1, ithinta kayi-1. Meaning that f is a function because it passes a vertical line test. F inverse, the inverse of f. Okay, let's check in. Now draw a vertical line, ithinta ka-1, 2. Draw a vertical line, ithinta ka-1, 2. Meaning that f inverse is not a function because the vertical line ithinta ka-2. Right, so manje we should do something with f so that the inverse ka f izophenduka ini a function. Currently, the domain ka f, domain of parabola f, is from negative infinity to positive infinity. Means our graph here qhubeka y, nala graph here qhubeka y. So the domain currently is negative infinity to positive infinity. The range ka f currently it's from 0 to positive infinity because the graph is 0 from 0 to positive infinity, 0 to positive infinity. So manje i-domain yethu, if we can restrict i-domain, chaza ukuthi i-graph yethu singayidraw yonke. Yabo? Because into eyenza ukuthi i-inverse ingabe function. Angithi we know ukuthi inverse kusuke kunalo line ohamba leya graph ibuye yathi. So into eyenza ukuthi i-inverse ingabe function is because i-fail vertical line test. Into eyenza ukuthi i-fail vertical line test yini ingoba ithinta ka-2. So if you can remove a piece A1, we can remove a piece. Yabo masusa le piece ephezulu, must draw a vertical line, isizothinta kayi-1, isizothinta kayi-1. So how do we remove a piece? We remove it by restricting the domain ka f so that must only inverse is of a function. Right. So currently domain negative infinity to positive infinity. Kahle x is an element of all real numbers. Now y is an element of all real numbers. So if now we can say f of x equals to x squared, and then x should be less or equals to 0. So now I'm restricting the domain. Length it only draw a graph kuma x values anjani from 0 going back, from 0 to negative infinity. So because we must draw a graph la graph yethu izoma so manje bekumele siyidraw kanje, but since the domain is from 0 to negative infinity, because the piece ayifuneki. If the piece engafuneki, isho igraph yethu iqala la sinale piece kuphela. Right? And then we have this line y equals to x. So the inverse yalo piece ngisabo izosukuhlalela yabo. Because ukuthi inverse yethu izosuka la izinga. So masi check ke manje igraph ka f nathi. So this is f, this is f inverse. So if it's draw a vertical line, let's draw a vertical line. Yabona ukuthi igraph ka f ithinta kayi-1, chaza ukuthi igraph ka f i function. Let's draw a vertical line ngapha, f inverse is a function. So by restricting the domain, we just made ukuthi igraph ka f inverse ibe a function. So we can also restrict the domain ngendlela f of x is equals to x squared. Domain x should be greater or equals to 0, meaning that we should only draw a graph comma x values from 0 to positive infinity. So basically draw kanje, but manje since we have a restriction, kumele siqale ku 0. And masiqala ku 0, then we know that we have this line y equals to x. So lo uya reflector uza ngapha, so uzoma kanje. So yabona ke asicheckeni ke manje igraph ka f ilemnyama, vertical line test. Igraph ka f is a function. Check ngapha vertical line test. Igraph ka inverse is also a function. So if the question is to draw or sketch the graph of the inverse, bazokunikeza restriction or noma bazosho ukuthi like choose a restriction yabo. Yeah, ukuthi bese uzobona. So let's get a problem. Okay, so now we have this question. We are given f at x, which is equal to 2x squared, and then we should determine the equation of f inverse. Is the inverse a function? We should give a reason, and then we should also sketch the graph of f inverse. Okay, so the first question is to determine the equation of the f inverse. We know ukuthi an equation, we interchange, we make x, y, and then y, x. So f at x stands for y, so we're going to make this one x equals to 2y squared. Then we divide by 2, sin y squared, which is equals to x over 2, faka square root, y equals to plus or minus root x over 2. So this is f inverse. So sesimphendulile number 1. Right. Number 2, is the inverse of f a function? No, it's not a function. So the answer will be no. Why? Once you have more substitutes lapho uzothola y positive, y negative. So the graph yakho mayidraw izoma kanje, so it's not a function because it fails the vertical line test. Yeah, it's not a function because the vertical line test touches the graph at 2 points. Right, sketch the graph of f. Then they've given us the restriction. Yeah? So masi sketch okay. We know ukuthi masketcha lo ya 2x ukuthi uhamba kanje, but since the restriction say x should be less than 0, shuthi asifuni leya piece, and this is f. Labathe we should sketch f inverse. So because we should not sketch law, shuthi ke manje lana sesizo sketcha inverse yakhona, because we know ukuthi angithi kumele sireflecte lo. So this is F inverse loyana ubani u-F. So equation le ifuna bani u-F inverse. So domain currently domain zobani x should be less than 0, while domain x should be greater than. So this is how we tackle the inverse of a parabola.